The fuck going on in this motherfucking bitch? They call me the Black Charlie Sheen, aka One Chains. I'm also known as fitness trainer Mr. Train Your Girl. She be doing squats all over my dick. In some circles, I'm just simply known as Dadon. Dadon, Dadon. We back in this bitch. We back in this bitch. We back in this bitch. The draft motherfucking shit. I give your girl my PPL. You know what I'm saying? PPL season 3. We in this bitch. We in this bitch like tampons. Now look. There's 20 people in this motherfucker, okay? This is like a big ass league. We are in one division, so there's 10 people in one division. So there's gonna be 9 weeks of regular season. Shit about to go crazy. The rules are pretty crazy for this shit too, okay? So that you know, most of the teams that people have are fucking trash, okay? Because based on the rules, you can only have one Pokemon from like S tier, one Pokemon from A tier, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of good Pokemon that went unpicked completely, you know? So what I'm saying is that technically most of the people that are taking part in this have like 3 to 4 really good Pokemon and the rest are shit, okay? So this is gonna be so much more different from other leagues. It's been a while as well. I've been gone since December, basically. This is my first league of 2024 at the end of the day, and we in this bitch. You know the motto. You know the motto. We smoke grass and eat ass. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, it's the other way around, right? We smoke ass and eat grass. Yep, that's the motto. We're about to do it in this bitch. Okay, let me talk about my team, okay? I was 16th pick, by the way. Motherfucker, what? And my first pick was Lando. Lando-I. Renderoso. It's fine. I got the Renderoso. It's fine. I got the Renderoso. Those who know, they know. First of all, Lando-I is one of the most busted Pokemon of all time, bro. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This motherfucker has not been able to survive in OU longer for than a few days since its release in Gen 5, okay? This shit is so fucking strong. Okay. Just look at my team overall, because we're not gonna reveal Pokemon one by one. I ain't got time for this shit, okay? You can see the whole team. As you can see, it's absolutely phenomenally offensive, okay? We're going with an HO approach because first of all, I want to have fun games for myself to play. You know that my favorite style is offense. Well, there's different types of offense. I'd say hyper offense is probably the funnest one. Obviously, it's inconsistent. Obviously, it requires a lot of like predictions, game knowledge, and all that. But you know what it is. That's my favorite style, basically, and yeah, we're gonna rock with it. And you know, there's also a logic. I'll explain to you what the logic was for me drafting this team. My logic was that most of the teams will be shit. For example, I think I might not be 100% sure, but I'm almost certain that I'm not fighting the guy with Corviknight in regular season. I think, because I think he's in another division. I think, if I'm not wrong, something like that. So, for example, you see a Lokix, you see PABLO coming back. Okay, that was a very important strategic pick, PABLO. I'll explain why. Because my logic is that most of the people will have shit teams just like mine. It's fucking Wigglytuffs, Abomasnows, and Volbeats of the world, okay? So that means Terra Lokix would be an absolute fucking colossal, okay? You understand. You have to understand the amount of damage that this shit could possibly do, okay? So, let me just lay out the team in general. Joey was helping me draft, and we were discussing all of the things, like every single pick, you know. My initial pick was Lando-I, and then when I saw that I need to pick a Pokemon from S tier, Lando-I was A tier for some reason. People sleeping on the Renderoso, bro. I'm telling you, Renderoso is about to go crazy. They don't know. Okay, it doesn't have rock polish anymore, but it is what it is. That's fine. So look, my first pick was Lando. My second pick was Kyurem, because there was still Pokemon available from S rank, but I didn't pick one. And I was looking and I was like, Kyurem, god damn, bro. Kyurem is a fucking big-ass threat, bro. That motherfucker is strong as hell. And then I started thinking, okay. Started speaking to Joey, and I was like, okay, what if I pick something with priority? Well, then there's Lokix there, right? And then what if I take Smeargle? So our idea was that I pick up Smeargle for, first of all, for obviously self-explanatory reasons. Every hazard in the game, every removal, every move in the game is possible with Smeargle. And it's absolutely phenomenal to cheese through shit. But also, we can Terra Captain it, and I will explain why. By the way, as you can see, we have 2 Terra Captains. It's Smeargle and Lokix. Lokix is like one of the most expensive Pokemon to Terra in this, so it can only have 1 Terra type. Obviously, it's going to be Bug. Like, we have to go absolutely crazy doing anything else. Smeargle, on the other hand, will have normal, Terra, Ghost, and Water. I will not reveal the reasonings why, because I want to keep it as a secret for, I guess, future, perhaps, games. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I suppose keeping it as... Перезвоню. 5 минут. I suppose keeping it as a information... How to put it? I'm probably revealing information right now by saying that I don't want to reveal information, okay? But this is the reverse psychology mind game type of shit, okay? The main idea, of course, is to have Smeargle as like a sticky web setter, because looking at my team, like with sticky web support, just fucking Blizzard spam, Earth Power spam. If shit goes wrong, I go into low kicks, I fucking first impression. Then I decided to pick Raikou. Raikou was a very important pick because I wanted, personally, I wanted Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is absolutely incredible. Raikou is my favorite out of the 3 legendary beasts, and Raging Bolt is my favorite out of the 3 as well, of the Paradox ones, right? So these are absolutely fucking phenomenal. Raging Bolt didn't really fit the team, plus Raging Bolt is much more effective with Sun, and I didn't want to use Sun, to be honest. So Raikou was good speed tier. Raikou is, really strong. It can be a setup Pokemon. As you can see, so far we only have setup Pokemon, because even Lando has like Bulk Up, Nasty Plot, Kyurem has DD, fucking Lokix has SD, Trailblaze, Raikou has Calm Mind, it has access to Scald. It's really strong, it's really good. Then we needed, as you can see, an ice resist, sort of, and like a water resist type of thing. We do have Kyurem, but we need another water resist, so we went with Tentacruel. Tentacruel is also a spinner. Of course, Smeargle can be the hazard control, but we need an actual like spinner, decent speed, also has SD, can set up, Toxic Spike setter, Toxic Spike absorber, okay? Just a poison type. Tentacruel is just good overall. Like, it's a pretty decent Pokemon, And then we decided to go with Skelebridge, because I wanted a Ghost type, but also having a Fire type would have been nice. And then you know what my logic was? We had 3 options. I think, what were the options? If I remember correctly, it was Skelebridge. Shit. There was a couple of other ghosts, but we decided to go with Skelebridge because my logic was that I was like, Joey. Think about this. Torch Song. It's also kind of like a setup move, you know what I mean? Sticky Web support. For example, Timid Max Speed, Torch Song spam, you're just sweeping through motherfuckers. On top of that, Skelebridge gives us Unaware, gives us Will-O-Wisp. So what I like about this team is that a lot of times, hyper-offensive teams, they just get fucked when they get a turn wrong and the opponent sets up on them. You know how it goes. A lot of us play ladder. You have a hyper-offensive team, and then you get locked into a move, and then they go into their D-Knight, and then they DD once, and then they Terra Normal and just sweep your team because your shit is very frail, and you just don't have safety measures. But this hyper-offensive squad that I drafted pretty much has a lot of safety measures against setup bullshit. And I'm talking about, for example, Skelebridge, right? Because we have Unaware, so we don't get swept. We have low kicks with very strong first impressions that are always going to be like priority and shit. You know what I mean? We have, for example, Bombasno as well. We have Smeargle. Spore is, by the way, allowed in this. I would have not drafted Smeargle if Spore was not allowed. Most likely, it's going to be very important for us. Spore. So like, it feels as though this team is very hyper-offensive oriented, but has a lot of safety measures to not get swept if shit goes wrong. That's why I like this team so much, Then we have, so Skelebridge is pretty self-explanatory. Again, it's a Will-O-Wisper, has reliable recovery, defensive Pokemon as well can be offensive. So it's definition of a tank type of thing, not even a wall. Then we have Cobalion. I needed a Steel type, and we drafted Cobalion because amazing speed gives us Stealth Rock in case we don't use it with Lando or Smeargle, for instance, okay? So Cobalion has Taunt. Cobalion can set up as well. Cobalion can Volt Switch around. Cobalion can Iron Defense Booty Press as well. That's really big. So it's amazing. That's great. Now next, look. So I spoke about the Smeargle. So it's 4 Pokemon left. We had a plan with Joey. The plan was the following: to draft Shaman and Mimikyu. So Mimikyu first, and then Shaman, and then something else at like 1 point or 2 points. Okay. Because Shaman, first of all, is we needed a grass type. Shaman is phenomenal. 100 base stats across the board, has a reliable recovery, can pivot around with the baton pass. It's just an amazing Pokemon. Healing Wish, all that shit. Like, I wanted Shaman. Shaman Sky is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the Uber's format since Gen 4, you know? It's just such an absolute beast. So I wanted that and Mimikyu. Mimikyu being another ghost type, but also importantly being a fairy type, which we needed. And also Mimikyu has pretty much, it's like 2 Pokemon in draft. It's so fucking good. Having this disguise ability is so important in draft. But unfortunately Mimikyu got sniped. So our second choice, our second option was to go with Abomasnow Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff as the fairy type and Abomasnow as the grass type, along with setting up Hail for Kyurem and also potentially setting up Aurora Veil. Okay? So Abomasnow seemed to be like an amazing pick, to be honest. It seems to be a really solid Pokemon in general. Also, again, weather. Weather is important if we fight other weathers. I know there's a sun team and there's a rain team in this. Then, of course, you know, just it has priority, it has strong leaf storms, blizzards, wood hammers, whatever, what have you, fucking focus blasts, earth powers, anything. Aurora Veil, as I already mentioned. And then Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is an interesting one because, first of all, Wigglytuff received Nasty Plot in this fucking generation, okay? Wigglytuff is really fun. First of all, I love that Pokemon. It's like the ultimate Dragapult counter, which is funny that they banned Dragapult from this season. So this season does not have Dragapult in this, so nobody's gonna have Dragapult. But that's not the point. The point is that this has competitive, which is important for me when I'm using webs and all these hazards, right? Because I can switch into a defog, get my +2 special attack, and just smoke motherfuckers. Wigglytuff, being a Gen 1 Pokemon, has phenomenal coverage. You know that it has everything. Fucking T-Bolt, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Hyper Voice, it has literally everything, bro. I guarantee you it probably has some grass move even or some shit. So, on top of that, we can... sleep moves are allowed, right? We can even cheese with some saying bullshit, but Wigglytuff is also just... It has a lot of HP. It's a solid Pokemon. It was pretty cheap. Amazing coverage. My switching into Defog. It's just like a cool pick in general, you know? Like, obviously it's gonna have Dazzling Gleam. It doesn't have Moonblast, I think, but yeah. So, Wigglytuff, there it is. And now the last 2 Pokemon, because we have more points left over now with this structure rather than Mimikyu plus Shaman. So I decided to go with Volbeat because, first of all, the team was pretty weak to ground. As you can see, Volbeat, okay, it's not the greatest ground switching, but at least it resists ground. On top of that, Volbeat is a very annoying Pokemon for opposition. So like with Prankster T-Wave Encore can set up weather as if I need to, which I probably will not, but you know, whatever. U-turn, it can even run Tail Glow, it still has Tail Glow. So it has pivoting moves, it has all types of like T-Waves, Encores, and all that trash. So, technically, it also has recovery, so it could be a very annoying Pokemon to just use as a pivot or maybe cripple some shit. Or also, Volbeat comes into play when it comes to being a safety measure against, you know, getting swept. So imagine there's like a +2/+2 something in front of me. I go on a free switch into Volbeat and I go for Prankster T-Wave and this shit is crippled. Or Prankster Encore or something, you know, and it's done. So I win. Another safety measure. So Volbeat is just good in that sense. It just covers a few, it ticks a few boxes. Usually the last Pokemon that you draft don't really do much for the team, but Volbeat surprisingly is very important on this team, I feel like, and I feel like it's going to be good in the upcoming battles. And then we have Arangaru. Arangaru was like probably the best pick out of the 1-pointers, I think, because it's a whole ass Pokemon. In those 1-pointers, there was like fucking not fully evolved second stages, you know, and all that shit. But then there's a fucking Arangaru with real stats, well, decent stats. It's a psychic type for the team, which is good. It can set up Trick Room, for example, so we can have another mode. We can have like slow Abomasnow with specs and running Blizzard and, you know, fucking slow Skelly Bridge, and then run Trick Room. We can also do different stuff with it too. Like we could even run stuff like Magic Room, get rid of heavy duty boots and have some webs with it. You know what I mean? Like some shit like that. It's just it has good moveset too. Like it has decent moves. It has like T-Bolt and stuff. Decent coverage, future side spam, and has Yawn, John, you know? So, like, there it is. You see, on paper, this seems to be like a team that is well thought through, you know what I mean? So I'm very excited to use it. I'm very excited to use it. But then again, it can always go wrong because we have a very hyper-offensive team, right? It can always go wrong. But I'm very excited to use it. And I feel as though it's a pretty brain-dead team because you think about it. I just set up the hazards, then I just try to set up with something. If it doesn't work, then I just revert to first impression sack, first impression sack, first impression sack, and just win, you know? It's just, on paper, is as simple as that. That's why I think potentially we have one of the strongest teams, potentially. But this could be a thing. There's a jinx right there, bro, on the fucking logo that we have, okay? Yeah, I could very well jinx it, saying that it seems to be, we seem to have an incredible team, but we seem to have an incredibly difficult schedule as well. And I haven't been playing in draft league battles in in a long ass time. You see, yeah, excuses are already being in place. Nah, I'm just playing, bro. I'm about to win this shit. We in this bitch. I'm about to win this shit, and I'm gonna give your girl my PPL. I'm out this bitch.